altogether? Altogether, right?
Say unmoved as the minute.
I move that the minutes, conference, executive, regular of the February 6th meeting be approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Nancy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? The ayes have it. Approval of consent agenda, Mr. Cortese.
All right, reports, grant writer, February 2025, tax collector, January 2025, treasurer, January 2025, police department, February 2025. Resolution 2025-50 entitled Extending the 2025 Budget Introduction and Adoption Dates. Resolution 2025-51 entitled Refund of Overpayment. The resignation of Sarah Thornberry, court administrator, be accepted effective March 20th, 2025. The borough clerk will be authorized to advertise for the position of court administrator. Maria Amelia Lopez be hired as full-time cleaning maintenance for the Morris Plains Rizzo Building, Annex and Fire Department offices, the Morris Plains Community Center, and the Morris Plains Tea Center at an annual salary of $38,200, prorated effective February 24th, 2025. Morris Plains seniors be granted permission to park approximately 25 cars at Community Park parking lot near tennis courts on Sunday, March 23rd, 2025, from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. while on the bus trip to New York City. Morris Plains seniors be granted permission to park park 22 cars at the Community Park pool parking lot 7 days for beginning on Tuesday, April 1st, 2025, and returning on Monday, April 7th, 2025, while on the bus trip to Nashville. Busy seniors. The borough treasurer be authorized to advertise for the receipt of bids for pedestrian walkway along Route 53 and Tabor Road in March 13th, 2025. Edition of the official borough Morris Plains official borough newspaper with bids to be received on April 10th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Council Chambers, Borough Hall. Having pulled the council on February 24th, permission was granted for 2 fire department members to drive engine number 4 to the Morris County VOTEC, 40 East Main Street, Denville, on Wednesday, February 26, 2025, 1 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. for a fire public safety class that 2 junior members are currently enrolled in. The Morris Plains Community Band be granted permission to hold 4 concerts at Robert's Garden on Wednesday, August 6th, August 13th, August 20th, and August 27th, from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Brianne Mueller be hired as full-time clerk typist in the Borough Clerk's office at the annual salary of $41,000 effective March 10th, 2025.
Is there a second? No,
there's
sorry, you
more.
got more.
The mayor be authorized to sign the police department's, don't worry, I did it 3 times.
I didn't know anything.
Application for 2025 distracted driving crackdown grant, You Drive, You Text, You Pay campaign. The borough treasurer is authorized to submit bids for contract A 2025 fireworks display services for 2025 with up to 2 one-year contract extensions in accordance with NJSA 48:11-15, which started to be published in the official newspaper on March 13th, 2025, and bids be accepted on April 9th, 2025 at 10:30 a.m. in the council chambers.
Now, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bill, roll call please.
Mr. Cortese.
Yes.
Mr. Houston.
Yes.
Mr. Ivey.
Yes.
Mr. Pontier.
Yes.
Ms. Verga.
Yes.
At this time, I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. It's a nice evening, getting nicer and warmer, and see if anybody has any comments for the council. Seeing nobody, I move on to reports of committees and department heads. Finance, Ms. Verga.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. The clerk's office conducted interviews for 3 days last week. I participated with them, the clerk and the deputy clerk, for an entry-level vacancy in that office, and Brianne Mueller has accepted the position and starts Monday. We're looking forward to having her on board. The office continues to work with their animal licenses for overdue rabies certificates, parking permits, over requests. And on February 29th, I attended the safety committee meeting led by Roseanne, our clerk, the head of our safety committee. Also attending were department heads Chief Koroski, the DPW Superintendent John Signorelli, Chief Rongo, and our court administrator as required by our liability insurance carrier, and each department reported out safety measures that they are implementing, such as the DPW training on trench safety, and the police department fit testing for gas masks, and fleet safety and auto insurance issues and claims. And the clerk reported issuing certificates of insurance for the municipal alliance events and sports teams that use our borough facilities, and issued permits for field use and annual fireworks. So you can see the Public Employee Occupational Safety and Health Administration report had to be displayed in our departments and workplaces as required by New Jersey law, all part of that safety committee meeting, which we have to have annually? Annually?
No, quarter.
Quarter. Okay, so that was my first experience with that, very interesting. Finance department has been busy with our budget meeting preparation for our budget workshops. One will be held tomorrow at 6 p.m. and one on Friday, March 28th at 6 p.m. This Friday, we will be reviewing all the department budgets submitted and evaluate each request line by line. And next, the 28th, we'll be reviewing our revenue and capital requests. As mentioned at the last meeting, we will need to keep an eye on how developments at the state and federal levels will impact our local budget. The New Jersey Department of Community Affairs has proposed that total energy receipts distribution to municipalities will remain flat compared to 2024 at $621,206. We received that much last year from the state, we'll receive it again this year. And also announced last year, the so-called Municipal Relief Fund, from which we received $64,000 from the state in 2024, will no longer be distributed to any municipality.
Terrific.
I also attended a budget webinar on February 26th with the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, where they reviewed some of the rules for this year. Unfortunately, much of it went over my head because it was targeted to CFOs, so I attended the wrong seminar, but I did the best I could and learned a few things. Farmers Market, I mentioned a few weeks ago that we were looking for volunteers for the Farmers Market. We did have for an advisory board, so one person is not coordinating the whole event for the entire summer, and we have had about 6 or 7 people who've come forward and will be looking to carry on this tradition. There's going to be a meeting with them next week to assign different responsibilities. Today I was visiting some of the businesses downtown, and I saw that there's a new business opening up next to Monroy Florist called LR Alterations and Creations. Monroy will be sharing the space. She is a seamstress and does alterations, so stop by to see her and wish her all the best. Just as an aside, I want to mention that on the 22nd of February, I attended a Know Your Rights workshop presented by Wind of the Spirit, a faith-based organization committed to advocating for fair and humane immigration policies that respect dignity and celebrate our shared humanity. So as a local elected official, I felt it was important for me to understand the guidelines for involvement by our local police department so we can ensure that we are providing appropriate resources, and also to advise individuals in Morris Plains, whether documented or undocumented, about their right to due process under United States law. So that was an informative webinar or in-person experience. We did some role play and stuff, so it was very interesting. Also, I wanted to mention Happy Women's History Month, and we also celebrate Disability Awareness Month, so that's an important thing for many of our community members. And also, Morristown St. Patrick's Day Parade is next Saturday at noon, so.
An advertisement for them, wasn't it?
Well, it's a community fun
Walk
event.
into the train, stop at the establishment.
There you go. There you go, perfect. Thank you, Nancy. Public safety, Tyler.
Thank you, Mayor. Starting off with the police department, as people have witnessed and have seen, we put the 2 offers out to the new police officers. They both accepted. When I spoke with Chief Koroski, he said this was a critical week up at the police academy. They're doing their firearms qualification, which seems to be one of the bigger deals up there. Once they're through with that, he said it should be kind of smooth sailing from there. We're looking at swearing those 2 gentlemen in, possibly at the next meeting or the one after that, depending on how timing works out. But we're excited to welcome them to the community. Chief Koroski also met with the Musial group again to go over the. Mayor Carr had recommended a new plan for the building here. Chief Koroski also met them over at the Teen Center to kind of look at that property to see, the second option is possibly having a police office built over there. Ended up finding out there's a little more space than originally thought over there, so that could present some more options, but that will be up to the Musial group to show us. There is going to be, we're looking at having a traffic committee meeting on March 28th to really look at those complete streets initiatives. We've got a lot of roads being paved this year, so we're gonna try to work with the borough engineer and see if we can get some of those, the lining on the roads a little bit safer, make it safer for kids, people on e-bikes, cars, etc. And the police department is putting in, as mentioned before, a grant application for the distracted driving enforcement. Essentially, this is overtime funding that's funded by the state that allows the officers to really zone in on their shift, on people texting and driving, on their phones and driving, and, again, really crack down on the distracted drivers, which I definitely think is a big issue, help keep our streets a little bit safer. On the fire prevention front, Chris Shea is out inspecting and busy as usual. He's also at the process of starting to collect some past due invoices as we're in the third month of the year. One of the things Chris and I discussed is New Jersey changed the code where you do not need a fire extinguisher anymore during a fire code. The state is now putting it up to towns to decide and enforce that, so that's something that we'll be discussing, in the near future. He also had brought up possibly working with Bill and the Ordinance Committee on looking at the ordinance right now that we have for apartments in town. Currently, if there's a change in tenancy or occupancy, we do not inspect that apartment. So that is something that we're going to try to look into. We do feel like not only would it make our town safer, but there's buildings like Signature Place in Highlands that have a lot of apartments. So not only would that make the town safer, it would really generate a nice chunk of revenue as well. He is also working on his March list. He said that every month he has his own list of different types of inspections based on the type of year. So I'm kind of learning those things myself, but he's a very knowledgeable man and teaching me a lot. And he should have the February report out soon, which has the breakdown of all the inspections he did for the month. On the fire department front, I do believe Chief Bellis might come up, but they are busy. They're on calls. As mentioned before, they had the two fire department members take Engine 4 to Morris County VOTEC for the fire public safety class. I think that's just a really neat opportunity and a great way to showcase the fire department and really be involved outside of the community as well. And then at the court front, as mentioned, Sarah Thornberry is resigning effective March 20th. We will be posting for the position ASAP, trying to get someone in there, and then really moving forward as well. We don't have too many cases coming up, but I will keep everyone posted. I'm going to try to be in person at the next court session. And I believe that's it for myself. If Chief Koroski or Chief Bellis want to come up, give a quick report, that's Chief. You first.
Good evening. As Councilmember Pontier mentioned, we're doing a proposed traffic committee meeting towards the end of the month, but we are holding off because March 26th, a few of us from the police department, as well as some traffic committee members, Jim Hunt included, are attending the Avenues in Motion Transportation Forum with a special focus on e-bikes and e-scooters. That's continuing to be an area of concern for us. Tomorrow evening at Menon Arena is Law Enforcement Night, sponsored by the New Jersey Coalition for Education and Positive Choices, the Morris County Sheriff's Office, several mayors, including Mayor Carr. Our department will be in attendance, showing off some of our skills and abilities and equipment that we use. So a good night just to pop down and do some community policing, meet your officers. For the month of February, 60 medical assistance calls prior to the arrival of EMS by our patrol officers, 37 walkthroughs at the train station, our evening and morning commute times, 27 motor vehicle crashes with no injuries, 4 motor vehicle crashes with injuries, 336 motor vehicle stops, 946 property checks of various businesses and properties in town, 184 radar and traffic enforcement details, and 2 DWI arrests, driving while intoxicated arrests. Unless there's any questions or comments or concerns, that concludes my report.
Good, thank you, sir. Chief Bellis?
Good evening, everyone. I don't have monthly breakdowns. I wasn't expecting a report tonight. However, to date, as of this afternoon, we have 84 calls for the year, which is extremely busy. It's an extremely busy year. I don't know why, but as far as training, February 24th, Monday evening, the department went to Powder Mill Firehouse at our neighboring Mount Tabor They have a little training facility set up, so we did some forcible door training at 2 hours. There were 26 members in attendance. This past Monday night, March 3rd, we had 15 members attend a lecture at the Whippany Firehouse on leadership. It was given by a retired Carney chief with 10 bestseller books, as well as he is a consultant for Fire Engineering magazine, so very knowledgeable. Unfortunately, I had a prior commitment, so I didn't get to attend, but the guys that went said it was a fantastic lecture, so we were thankful to our neighboring town for giving us that opportunity. That's all I have.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
We know you weren't at work.
No,
Your
I
other
was-
obligation wasn't work, so we know that.
I was at a Taste of Morristown, so nothing Morristown.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, sir. Public Works, I mentioned before, Art is not with us tonight, he's
I
away
think
on
Mark has one more
business.
thing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Mike reminded me. So as some of you may know, we're switching over to a new reporting system, CSI, and Mike, myself, Chris Shea, Eddie Duffy, we spent the past 2 days from 10 a.m. to about 2, 3 p.m. training and learning the new system so we can submit our reports. So
Those go to the state, right? This is a new state system?
FEMA, these are the NIFR reports that go to FEMA.
Okay,
So
good.
thank you, Mike, for reminding me.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it. Anybody have a report for Art or no? See nobody, we'll move on to Public Buildings and Grounds. Mr. Cortese.
Thank you, Mayor. I went to the shade tree meeting in the beginning of the month, and it's so, learning so much with this department. I had a couple of meetings with DPW on trees all over town. Also met with Michael Lombardi once, and also our forester. Our public works can do so much. If it involves climbing, anything near wire, anything near water, they can't touch it. And also, if a tree is down, depending on diameter, they can't touch it either. Sadly, we had one down there by the pond on Johnson Road, and that required our forester to do it because of the size. They're also taking down some more ash trees. Last Saturday, it started off as a beautiful day, and then if everybody remembers, the wind picked up around 12 o'clock. Well, I went around town around 5, 6 o'clock, and the wind did about $5,000–6,000 worth of pruning, free pruning from Marsh Plains. So we're blessed with that. Thank God nobody got hurt. And one of my objectives here is really to go around, especially where the kids walk to school, to see any trees or dead branches, and especially now that you'll know if the tree made it over the winter. There was, it was tough, a little drought, a little cold, a little this, had a little bit of everything. So we'll see what comes through, and I will be doing more walkthroughs, especially again where the kids walk to school. I don't want any branch ever to come close to any kid, any danger. As far as recreation, I went to a meeting. Jerry Sidman is here, he's the head of recreation. Right now, recreation is a little busy. They're trying to find people to fulfill positions that left, as you guys know, at the beginning of the year when it gets very, very, very busy. We have people coming in as camp counselors. They gotta be looked at, interviewed. There's registration, there's pool, there's Easter Day. By the way, April 12th is the breakfast. I think from 9 to 11. It'll be a continental breakfast, and if we can't have anybody, rec has proposed to help out as much as they can and do it themselves. Roll up the sleeves. We also moved the pool registration, sadly, from the 3rd to the 21st, only because we don't have anyone to man the email right now, and the council is working on this expeditiously and doing the best job we can to get everything back to normality. That's about all I have, Mayor.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Public Health, Sanitation, and Sewers, Mr. Ivey.
Thank you, Mayor. So for Teen Center, they have an event coming up for all grades. We're hoping for a good turnout, considering that the first event that was planned hit capacity in about 62 minutes. So they quickly pivoted and found a new place. So that should be a big hit. DPW was kind enough to vacuum and dust the house, and there's some other low-cost activities that we're going to prioritize with the team to see what we can kind of get things done to spruce up the house just come springtime. Paint, shampooing the carpets, make it a little more homey of a building. For Municipal Alliance, the Speak Sobriety that I spoke about last time with Stephen Hill was confirmed on May 23rd to the seniors at Morristown High School. The Family Fitness event will be on April 5th. The registration opens Monday and will be open through the 24th. And no, Chief Koroski mentioned it, but the scooter safety that they're working on, the Board of Health wants to be involved to help spread the awareness for that. So that will be a nice conjunction and collaboration between the two boards. And they also want to participate in all the senior safety initiatives, the alcohol drug prevention going into the prom season. The recycling contract renewal is underway, so Mayor probably should have mentioned this in conference, but I am going to follow up tomorrow to get their tonnage costs. I think they're still drafting up the contract, but this week, what the costs are. And then last week we had a DPW visit to see what it looks like behind the scenes, and it's if you thought it was impressive of what everybody can see on a day-to-day basis, what they're actually doing to make sure that the town runs is extremely impressive, and how they maintain their fleet and all the training the people and making sure the manpower is there. First Board of Health meeting that I'll be at will be next week, and so the following week I'll have my first Board of Health update.
Ordinances and public utilities, Mr. Houston.
Thank you, Mayor. So the Affordable Housing Committee had a meeting on Monday night to discuss the challenge from the New Jersey Builders Association. Do you want to talk about that at all, or?
Well, it's litigation.
Okay.
So
Okay. So
you could just, maybe just we've been named in a suit. But.
right, yeah. So in general, all the 159 municipalities that filed to lower their affordable housing number, which we were one of them, were challenged by the New Jersey Builders Association. Essentially, that objection and supporting report takes the position that unless there's an overall statewide reallocation of the affordable housing obligation, no individual municipality can reduce its share of the affordable housing pie. So the Affordable Housing Committee is in the process of reviewing and analyzing that objection more in detail. I do think it's important that the public understand kind of what the definition of affordable housing is, right? And the income limits that are set by the New Jersey DCA, which is Department of Community Affairs. Affordable housing in New Jersey is housing that is available to people with limited incomes and is defined by income limits and housing costs. So for example, 2024 in Morris County, New Jersey, the median family income was $124,300. The low income limit for a family of 4 is $97,800. An average nurse's salary in Morris County, New Jersey is $90,000. The very low income limit for a family of 4 is $67,700. An average police officer's salary in Morris County is $64,000, and an average teacher's salary in Morris County is $59,000. So all these jobs actually fall below the income limits, and therefore will qualify for affordable housing. The challenge that we have is balancing the accommodations for people of all incomes with the actual land that we can develop the housing on. We certainly don't want to build on our parks or wetlands, but we also do want to find the appropriate, responsible places for everyone to live in Morris Plains. So that's what we're discussing in the Affordable Housing Committee meetings with everybody involved.
So just, let me just piggyback. It's not, Morris Plains certainly is not against any affordable housing whatsoever. It's the density that's imposed on us, not because of affordable, but because of the 5 units per affordable unit that a builder is able to build. So that's what we're trying to get our number lowered, that the builder can't build as many units as the building that has gone on is results of affordable housing. So nearly 700 units of housing here in the last 10 years. You see the ones that have gone up, and still there's 200 left to build, but those are the results of our 3rd round of affordable housing. So you're talking large numbers, and it's our responsibility to try to get these numbers down. put them in places that they really belong, right? So not under the power lines or not on somebody else's property that the state sees as vacant land, or the parking lot of the VFW or any of our parks, like Bill said. So it's not the affordable housing that we're against, it's just where it's placed and the density of the housing to be built, so.
And, you know, the next date that we're all working toward here is June 30th date, which is our deadline for municipalities to adopt the housing element fair share plan. So we got a lot of work to do between now and then to get this done, so. Excuse me, on the construction office, update over there. So one of the clerks has been taking, it's called a TACO course, Technical Assistant Construction Official course. She's enjoying it, she's doing well on it. On the management software, so Spatial Data Logic is the management software company. We have migrated the data to the new system, and it's in the process of being validated by the clerks. So they were targeting a March go live date, but it's taking a little bit longer than expected, so now we're targeting the April 1st date. So when this is all live, this is going to allow the inspectors to input and update the permits digitally when they're in the field. And it's also going to allow the clerks to search for all the records digitally. So it's going to make it easier for the systems to be searched. Just on some projects update. So the old t-shirt factory that's over here has a new tenant, which is an automobile detail shop where they kind of do wraps around cars and all that. It is classified as a retail service, which is an approved use in the B1 zone. So because of that, it didn't need to go before any boards. However, the inspectors are over there making sure everything is up to code. So we welcome them to town. On the planning board, they've got their next meeting Monday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, here, 7:30 p.m. here in this room. On the agenda is the approval of the resolution for application PB 324, which was known as the Waker property, but is now going to be known as Crossings at 10. And there will be a public hearing for application PB 424, which is 109 Mountain Way. The agenda is expected to be posted tomorrow if it's not already up on the website. Zoning Board of Adjustment update, they had their monthly meeting here February 24th. It's a very quick meeting, I think it was like 8 minutes or something, as they memorialized 2 applications for private residences. The next meeting is Monday, March 24th, again here in this room. The agenda should be posted sometime the week of the 17th. Committee update, so my checklist, the checklist committee, we're going to be having our second meeting tomorrow afternoon via Google Meet. That's myself, Bill Ryan, who's our engineer, Dave Schultz, who's the chair of the Zoning Board of Adjustment, and Mike Garavaglia, who's the chair of the Planning Board. And the purpose of that is to streamline and review the current 2019 checklist for applications with the goal of simplifying and streamlining the process for all applicants, including residents. SMCMUA update, let's see, they are continuing to do utility work Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4. The week of March 3rd through next week, they'll be continuing water main installation on Maple Avenue and Hawthorne Avenue. They will be performing disinfection and testing of Maple Avenue and Diana Road water lines. And then on training note, as a new planning board member, I signed up for a mandatory 5-hour online course through the New Jersey planning officials entitled Mandatory Education for New Board Members. It's $136, and it's going to provide me with an overview of the municipal land use law. It'll cover topics such as planning concepts, county planning, engineering, planning board issues, and zoning board issues. So
That's only 5 hours then?
it's an intro course. Yeah, it's 5 hours.
Is this the required course then?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only 5 hours?
5 hours. Yep. It's an online, 5
You
hours.
get a bargain.
Yeah, well, it's from 5:30 to 10:30 at night, so I don't know how.
We were there all, we had to go all day on a Saturday,
Did you?
up at the academy, yeah, it was
Okay.
8 to 4 at least, or something,
Okay.
right, or 8 to 5,
Yeah.
so you're lucky.
Well, I guess so.
It's good.
Yeah, and then last night I completed the Morris County Cybersecurity SAFE training, which stands for Security Awareness for Everyone, which covered topics such as email and password security, mobile phone security, and how to protect against phishing and ransomware attacks. So, digitally compliant with everything. And that's my report.
Great, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We have introduction of ordinances, Mr. Houston.
Yes. I, Councilmember Houston, introduce the following ordinance and read the same by title and move that it be passed on the first reading. Ordinance number 4-2025, calendar year 2025, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a capped bank.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Roll
Second.
call, please. I'm sorry, second?
Second.
I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cortese,
Yes.
Mr. Houston,
Yes.
Mr. Ivey,
Yes.
Mr. Pontier,
Yes.
Ms. Verga.
Yes.
Thank you.
I, Councilmember Houston, offer the following resolution. Whereas the above ordinance was introduced and read by title at this meeting on March 6, 2025, and passed on the first reading. Now therefore be it resolved that at a meeting to be held on March 20th, 2025, at 8:30 p.m. pre-billing time at the municipal building in the said borough, this council will further consider for second reading and final passage the said ordinance. And be it further resolved that the clerk of this borough be and she is hereby directed to publish and mail the proper notice therefore, including the ordinance, post the ordinance on the bulletin board of the municipal building, and to make copies available to members of the general public.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tyler. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it, and this just allows the council, in case of an emergency, to raise the appropriate funds above the 2%. Ordinances on second reading. Mr. Houston.
Thank you. I, Councilmember Houston, read by title the ordinance entitled Ordinance 2-2025, Bond Ordinance Bond Ordinance providing for the improvement of various roads in and by the borough of Morris Plains in the county of Morris, New Jersey, appropriating $953,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $905,350 bonds or notes of the borough for financing such appropriation, which ordinance was introduced and passed in the first reading at a meeting held on February 20th, 2025.
I announce the meeting is open for a public hearing on the ordinance. Any members of the body wishing to comment? Seeing no one, I close the public hearing.
I, Councilmember Houston, state that the above ordinance as read by title on second reading at this meeting be adopted and finally passed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Adjournment. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cortese,
Yes.
Mr. Houston,
Yes.
Mr. Ivey,
Yes.
Mr. Pontier,
Yes.
Ms. Verga.
Yes.
And this is for improvements on Cleveland Avenue, Brook Drive North, Davenport, Wynwood Road, Beach Drive, Sun Valley Way, Forest Avenue, Forest Court, by resurfacing and paving and additional work to be done there. And you have one more, Mr. Houston.
Yes, I do, Mayor. I, Councilmember Houston, read by title the ordinance entitled Ordinance number 3-2025, an ordinance to appropriate $405,000 for the improvement of Stiles Avenue and providing that the sum of $208,504 is expected to be received from New Jersey DOT grant, and the sum of $88,735 is expected to be received from the Southeast Morris County Municipal Utilities Authority, with $107,761 appropriated from Capital Improvement Fund balance, which ordinance was introduced and passed on first reading at a meeting held on February 20th, 2025.
I again announce the meeting is open for a public hearing. Anybody wishing to comment? Seeing no one, I close the public hearing.
I, Councilmember Houston, state that the above ordinance as read by title on second reading at this meeting be adopted and finally passed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tyler. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cortese,
Yes.
Mr. Houston,
Yes.
Mr. Ivey,
Yes.
Mr. Pontier,
Yes.
Ms. Verga.
Yes.
I declare the ordinance adopted and passed. And again, this is self-explanatory, putting the funds in for the paving of Stiles Avenue when the water main project is complete. We have no resolution, no unfinished business, no new business. We do have vouchers. Ms. Verga.
I move that the checklist of March sixth, 2025, in the amount of $2,585,015.53 be approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike, roll call please.
Mr. Cortese.
Yes.
Mr. Houston.
Yes.
Mr. Ivey.
Yes.
Mr. Pontier.
Yes.
Ms. Verga.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we do have a need for another executive session, Mr. Cortez.
Okay. Resolution for the executive session be resolved by the Borough Council of Morris Plains on the sixth day of March 2025 that prior to the conclusions of the regular meeting, the special meeting of the mayor and the Borough Council of the Borough of Morris Plains, meeting has been open to the public. The mayor and the borough shall meet in executive session from which the public shall be excluded to discuss matters as permitted pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12, subsections B8, subsections B8. The time when the matter is discussed pursuant to paragraph 1 thereof can be disclosed to the public as soon as possible after the final resolution of the aforesaid matter.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it. We will be returning. I can't tell you when. You're more than welcome to stay. We'll open the doors when we return.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate it.
If you don't come back.
Happy